The Canada-US defense partnership faces a major test, one that could redefine the future of continental security and cooperation. At the heart of the debate is the F-35 Lightning II fighter jet, a cutting-edge aircraft designed to ensure air superiority for decades to come. What began as a straightforward plan to modernize Canada's aging Air Force has now spiraled into a diplomatic flashpoint, drawing intense scrutiny from both sides of the border. The new Canadian government's decision to review the multi-billion-dollar F-35 deal has unsettled Washington, raising questions about Canada's long-term defense commitments. For the United States, Canada's full participation is seen as essential for NORAD's seamless defense integration, especially as global threats evolve and the Arctic becomes more strategically important. Any hesitation or delay is viewed as a potential crack in North America's security shield, potentially exposing vulnerabilities that adversaries could exploit. U.S. officials have issued stern warnings of serious consequences if Canada backs out, emphasizing that the F-35 is not just a fighter jet, but the backbone of shared security and interoperability. For Canada, the issue is far more complex, balancing sovereignty, fiscal responsibility, and the real needs of its military, all while facing public scrutiny and political debate. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is under pressure, weighing tough choices amid ballooning costs, vocal opposition, and mounting American expectations. The outcome of this debate will not only determine the future of Canada's Air Force, but also set the tone for North American security cooperation in an era of uncertainty. In many ways, the F-35 has become a symbol of the challenges and opportunities of maintaining a close alliance in a rapidly changing world where every decision echoes far beyond national borders. In January 2023, after years of debate and careful consideration, Canada made a landmark decision to purchase 88 F-35 fighter jets from the United States, marking one of the largest military procurements in its history. The goal was clear: to replace its aging fleet of CF-18s, which have served the country for decades but are now struggling to keep up with modern threats and technological advancements. However, the initial $13.2 billion price tag has since soared, with new government estimates now reaching nearly $28 billion, a staggering increase that has raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. Several factors are to blame. Inflation has driven up prices, global demand for munitions is at an all-time high, and a weakening Canadian dollar has made foreign purchases even more expensive. On top of that, Canadian military bases require major infrastructure upgrades to meet strict U.S. security standards, adding further strain to an already stretched budget and timeline. In response, the Carney government launched a comprehensive review in 2025, which is still ongoing. The review is caught between the urgent needs of the military and the growing concerns about affordability and fiscal responsibility. Meanwhile, public concern over domestic priorities, like healthcare, housing, and education, has made the F-35 deal a tough sell for many Canadians, fueling protests and heated debates at town halls across the country. Delays in the review process have only added to the uncertainty, creating diplomatic tension with the U.S. and leaving Canada's allies questioning its long-term defense commitments. Now, Ottawa faces a critical decision. It must carefully weigh the F-35's advanced capabilities and strategic benefits against its ballooning cost and the potential impact on other national priorities. The outcome will shape not only Canada's defense strategy and economic future, but also its most important military alliance with the United States for years to come. With so much at stake, the world is watching as Canada decides its next move. For Washington, Canada's hesitation isn't just about jets, it's about the very foundation of military interoperability. In an era of rapidly evolving threats, seamless cooperation between allies is more critical than ever. The ability to share information, coordinate responses, and act as a single, unified force is at the heart of North American security. U.S. officials, including Ambassador Pete Huckstra, warn that North American defense relies on both nations operating as a unified force. They stress that any gap in capabilities could weaken the continent's collective shield, making both countries more vulnerable to emerging threats. The F-35's real-time data sharing is seen as essential for future integration. Its advanced sensors and secure communications allow pilots to instantly relay battlefield information, creating a networked force that can outpace adversaries. Choosing a different aircraft, or fewer F-35s, could create a technological gap within NORAD. This gap could mean slower response times, less effective joint missions, and increased risk during high-stakes operations. The US is rapidly moving to a fifth-generation standard. Canada's divergence could hinder joint operations. As American forces modernize, interoperability with older or incompatible systems becomes increasingly difficult, potentially leaving Canada on the sidelines during critical missions. Canada is already contractually bound to receive 16 F-35s, with non-refundable deposits on parts. These commitments reflect years of planning and investment, tying Canada's future air power to the F-35 program. Backing out now would mean financial penalties and a breach of trust with the US. It could also jeopardize Canada's reputation as a reliable partner in international defense agreements. The American message, interoperability, isn't optional. It's a requirement for continental defense. For the US, this is not just a preference, but a non-negotiable standard for joint security. The F-35 is viewed as the only platform that meets this need for decades to come. Its unique capabilities are seen as the backbone of Allied air power, ensuring both nations can face future threats together. Canada's review is now entangled with broader partnership expectations. The decision goes beyond hardware. It's about reaffirming Canada's commitment to shared defense and the trust that underpins the alliance. The pressure to align with US defense strategy is immense. For Canada, the stakes are not just about jets, but about its role and credibility within the most important military partnership it has. Despite political debate, Canada's F-35 procurement is moving forward. Contracts legally commit Canada to the first 16 jets, with deliveries starting in 2026 at Luke Air Force Base for pilot training. 4 jets are fully paid for, non-refundable deposits are down on 8 more. Canceling now would mean forfeiting millions and risking penalties. Canada has been a partner in the F-35 program since 1997, investing $500 million in development. Canadian industry has won over $1.8 billion in contracts, supporting high-tech jobs. Pulling out could jeopardize future contracts and decades of industrial investment. The economic benefits are weighed against soaring costs. These golden handcuffs make withdrawal financially and politically daunting. Staying the course seems the path of least resistance. Rising costs and US pressure have sparked debate over alternatives, like a mixed fleet. The idea, buy fewer F-35s and supplement with a less expensive jet, such as Sweden's Saab Gripen. Proponents argue this could balance high-end capability with affordability and flexibility. Former Defense Minister Bill Blair and retired Major General Duff Sullivan note the US itself operates multiple fighter types. A mixed fleet could dedicate F-35s to high-intensity missions, while Gripens handle routine patrols. This approach could save billions and suit Canada's vast geography. The debate is about tailoring defense to national needs, not just following the US model. Exploring alternatives signals a push for strategic autonomy. The mixed fleet idea faces strong opposition from military leaders. US Ambassador Hoekstra and ARCAF Commander Lieutenant General Spicer Blanchet warn it would create costly redundancies. 2 fleets mean double the supply chains, maintenance and training, erasing any savings. Managing multiple aircraft would stretch resources and weaken defense capabilities. Critics argue only the F-35 offers the deep integration needed for modern warfare. Introducing another jet would compromise the seamless data-sharing network. With adversaries fielding advanced fighters, Canada needs a unified 5th-generation fleet. Adding complexity now could undermine readiness for years. The F-35 debate unfolds amid escalating US-Canada trade tensions. In August 2025, President Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods, prompting swift retaliation. The trade war has soured relations, complicating defense negotiations. While officials deny a direct link, the F-35 review gives Ottawa leverage in talks with Washington. The threat of canceling or reducing the F-35 order looms over trade discussions. For the US, losing the deal would hit its defense industry hard. For Canada, the F-35 decision risks being seen as retaliation, further straining ties. The procurement has become a bargaining chip in a broader geopolitical chess match. Navigating this minefield requires careful diplomacy on both sides. As of October 2025, Canada stands at a crossroads. Committing to 88 F-35s would please Washington but strain the budget. A mixed fleet could save money but risk US backlash and complicate logistics. Walking away is unlikely, given contracts and sunk costs. The decision will shape Canada's security and its alliance with the US for decades. Delays widen the gap between Canada's aging CF-18s and adversaries' advanced fighters. The F-35 saga reflects the challenge of balancing autonomy with alliance obligations. The final choice will signal Canada's place in the world and the future of its US partnership.